Well, Patrice, Women's History Month has rounded third base, and we are getting ready to slide into home. How do you feel about that?
I think it's been a great month. We've highlighted lots of women, lots of phenomenal, wonderful women, and I want to continue.
Well, we're going to do just that here in just a second. Again, she's Patrice, and I am Willie, and we are the co host of Don't Jump the podcast that is powered by Don't Jump Life Coaching Solutions that is presented to you by the Shakeback Media Group. And this is Ep.5 of the ongoing series of celebrating Women's History Month. We've got some terrific ladies in the background or behind door number 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we've got Cynthia. We've got Tawana. I'm not going to call her by her nickname. I'll let her do that if she wants to. We've got Stephanie. And, of course, we have the spark plug herself, Liz Benavides. And like you said, babe, it's been a great month. And we've got on deck some more great minds and great hearts and great spirits. So I want to ask you a question.
What's the question?
Are you ready to go?
Let's go.
Are you ready to go and get it? Can I get you a little bit more amped up? Can I get you a little bit more hyped up about this? Are you ready to go?
Let's go.
All right. Let's get it. Let go right now. Starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. This is how we do it. Patrice, thank you once again for all that you do and all the support that you give and your vision with Don't Jump as we have rebranded it to what it is today. As I have stated in other shows and on other projects, technology definitely has a way of bringing us all together for the good. And we're going to do that just now because we've got some great ladies here. We're going to celebrate Women's History Month. We're going to laugh. We may even cry, and we're going to laugh again. But one thing's for sure is that somebody's going to leave here blessed and encouraged and empowered. And that is the reason why the vision was given to us to do this. All right. First up, I'm going to do the introduction. Is that okay, Patrice?
Let's go for it.
First up, we have a singing, preaching woman of God. This woman is huh?
Keep going.
She is the prototypical phenomenal woman. Not only will she preach the word down, she will sing the word down, and she is in charge of getting us together every Sunday morning in our circle of prayer. And when she does that, she always ends when 1, 2, 3, Antioch, and let's go and serve the people in what? In excellence. And there she is in all her excellence herself. Elder Cynthia Clark, I need you to unmute yourself and bring yourself over in here.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
The latter part of that was spot on, but that other part, it's a group effort. So,
But we love it all the same.
All the same. I love you guys too.
And there always has to be a ringleader. So that's what I call
trouble sometime.
Yeah, well, in this case, in this space, and in this case, we mean it nothing but wholeheartedly and for the glory of the man that's in the clouds that we all love to worship and praise. Okay.
Absolutely.
This next individual, Patrice, she she just asked me to send her a request on the Domino app. And I have been beating her like she stole something. But that ain't what this is about. This is about her being such a warm and bubbly individual in the way that she greets people into our sanctuary. Everybody loves her except me. I'm just joking. Everybody loves her. And I tell you right now, if you guys go to her Snapchat, and she can give you her Snapchat should she choose to do so at the end of the show, she will be the perfect example of what living life to the fullest is like. And who am I talking about?
None other.
None other than Stephanie Mosley. Stephanie, what's going on?
What's going on, Deacon Willie? You had to start out with fighting words.
That was dominoes, right?
Right.
Is there any other way? I just want to know. Inquiring.
It's supposed to stay in the game.
Oh,
Don't worry. He plays dominoes with my mother, and he's relentless.
No.
I'm gonna
See,
get in on
now,
this. I'm gonna have to get in on the table.
No. Let's get it right. I used to play dominoes with your mama because I beat her like she stole something 100 times over, and then she went and vandalized. Okay, I better not say that.
Yeah, keep it moving.
Yeah, let's
We're
keep
so
it
happy
moving.
you're here, Stephanie.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you.
All right, and next up is the spark plug herself. When I tell you she is the antithesis, I don't even know if that even makes sense in this context, but it really sounded good in my mind. It might not have sounded as great when it came out of my mouth. But she is the prototypical example of a spark plug, an alpha woman herself. She has a heart of gold. She loves children. She actually has a foundation that I'm going to let her speak on as well. We've got some unfinished business. Yeah, you can see her laughing in the background. I'm going to go ahead and bring her in. Liz Benavides. What's happening, Liz?
Hey, a little bit of everything. You know me.
Hey, Liz.
Hey, buddy. Although I do have a problem with you two. I have to address that right now.
Whoa. Before you do that, remember, I am like Congress. I have the power of the purse and also the power of the mute button. So if you get out of line, I will put you in the penalty box with the mute button on. But we'll get to that in just a second, Liz. We'll let you get all your grievances out in just a moment, because this last person I'm bringing to the stage, man, I don't even know how to really introduce her. I've known her for I don't know how long. We went to high school together. She is a phenomenal educator. She has been awarded principal of the year. I want to say every year that she's been a principal. I might be exaggerating just a little bit when I say that, but when I tell you that she also has a heart of gold when it comes to children and the youth, she is just that. I'm gonna bring her in right now. I'm gonna not say her nickname, but there she is, Tawana Calhoun. Tawana, what's going on?
Good evening.
Good evening, Tawana.
How are y'all? Willie, you can tell them we've known each other almost 40 years.
Has it been that long?
Long time.
This is Washington, 1987. So 30
Wow.
years. 30
That is 30.
My nickname is Cookie. Everybody knows me as Cookie.
Hello, Cookie. We all love cookies.
Good evening, everybody. How y'all doing?
Everything is everything. So we're gonna go ahead and get this thing rolling. Patrice is going to be the facilitator of the group, and I will jump in ever so often. But before we do that, we got to let everybody out there know that we welcome your comments. You can drop them down below. As you see my finger, the one that's not swollen on the not swollen hand. Drop the comments down below. We would be sure to shout you out on the show. Also, I want to thank everybody out there for checking us out on Instagram TV. Thank you, Cynthia. I want to thank you guys out there for checking us out on Facebook, my personal page, the Media Groups page, the Shakeback that is, and of course, the BGC Sports Network, LinkedIn, YouTube through the network's page. I said Instagram TV, and I can never forget Twitter.
Also known as X.
Nope, we don't call it X. We do not call it X. And you can get out of the club if you want to with that. It's Twitter. That's what it is. So again, thank you guys out there for continuing to support the vision that is Don't Jump, the life coaching podcast, the life coaching practice, as well as the Shakeback Media Group. So let's go ahead and get into this. Ladies, we got some questions for y'all. I hope y'all are ready.
Let's get to know each other. All right,
Let's
we're going to kick this off with let's tell the audience and each other something no one or little to no one knows about you. Something unexpected. Let's start with Stephanie.
So I'm kind of like an open book. I mean, I can't really think of anything that people don't know about me because I share so much about myself. So I'm not sure, other than I'm the sanctuary greeters leader at ACC, now the community engagement leader at Antioch Christian Church. Other than that, I'm pretty much an open book. So what you see is what you get with me. I don't really have anything that not too many don't know about me.
Okay, awesome. So Stephanie is transparent. We
Pretty
love
much.
it. We
I,
love that.
I have a question about that.
Shoot.
Do people know that your domino skills need to? Oh, okay, never mind.
No.
Okay,
And you're only saying that right now. How many games have we even played? First of all, you started out going to 100, and that's not even standard.
Someone's
So,
being called out.
like I said, it's supposed to stay between the game. Right now, we just getting to know each other.
the game is the game.
Right.
The game of life.
Right.
Don't backpedal now.
Dominoes is included. Okay,
Absolutely.
Patrice.
All right, let's move on to the next person. All right, Miss Cookie, what's something no one knows about you that you would like to share?
I hate driving. Absolutely. I hate getting in the car, putting on I need a chauffeur.
So you are a passenger princess.
I am. And I will just say, I'll make excuses if it's a group. Like, oh, my head hurts. Not today. Or I'll make an excuse, but I hate driving. I just don't like it.
I see. Does this mean you've been in a few accidents?
No, that means I just hate driving.
Okay.
And Monroe's not that big, so we still live in Monroe. So Walmart really is about 10 minutes away. And I'm like, girl, I'm not driving all the way to Walmart.
Oh my
I
gosh.
hate driving. I absolutely do not like driving.
Okay.
But I have to. So if y'all know anybody needs a chauffeuring job, I might be hired.
I have a proposition for everybody on here that's in Dallas. Cynthia, Patrice, and Stephanie. Can we take Cookie and put her in the fanciest car, the fastest car, and put her in the middle lane of 635?
Yeah, I might have a mental breakdown.
Oh no, we don't want that.
You know what? I'll just get over and just wait until somebody comes to pick me up. I hate driving in the Metroplex. I hate it. I have friends I have lots of family there, but if it includes driving, I'm probably not gonna go. And traveling, if it's more than 3 hours, I will try to find a flight.
Done deal. Done deal.
My husband's
wrong with that, Cookie.
So he did because he doesn't like to drive either.
Well, we need to get y'all some bus tokens. All right, Patrice, what we got next? Who's next?
All right, let's do Liz.
Hey, I'm already open. There's not a lot that people don't know what I do. I'd say advocacy, what else? Football, family. That's pretty much everything's out there.
Nope. Not gonna get away with it. Nope.
Oh.
You're not gonna get away with it.
All right.
That's cap. And you know it's cap. The reason why that is because there's only one of us, well, that I know of, that's on this panel that has sung the national anthem at a professional event.
Okay.
Oh
wow. Although I'm born and raised in Scotland, I do periodically perform the national anthem at various events. It could be celebration of life, it could be sporting events, and it's always an honor to do it, and especially when I do it in my kilt.
Now
See?
that's unique.
It's
Mm-hmm.
different for sure, but it's like that's me. The Scottish, born and raised, fire and ice in our blood, and then loving America's my home. So I represent all at the same time.
That's
Very
beautiful.
nice. Very nice.
All right, Cynthia, you're up.
Okay, so I sung background for Lyle Lubbock. If you all know who Lyle Lubbock is, Julia Roberts' former husband, I sung background for him 2 years in a row with a group that I used to sing with.
Mm.
Now that's some news right there.
Yeah. What was the song? Do you remember?
Oh, all No More Cane, several of his songs that he did back in the day. This was like maybe 6-7 years ago now. I used to sing with a group here in Dallas, and ended up he needed some background vocals, so it was a group of us that went and we sung background for him. And then he liked us so much, he called us back again, and we did it again in Fort Worth at the what is that the Fort Worth Bass Hall. So 2 years in a row. It was
That's
great.
fabulous.
Yeah, that right there, that takes the cake of me singing in the shower.
It was great. It was great. First of all, and he loves taking pictures. So he was running around after the show, just snapping pictures of us. Just, can I get your feet? I'm like, you like taking pictures like that? He says, absolutely, I do. So I should have found the article, but it was ended up in the newspaper, and you can see us all sitting in the background and a little bit of our photos back there. So great deal.
What's the name of the group?
It's Marquin Middleton and Miracle Corral. Don't sing with them anymore, but Marquin Middleton and the Miracle Corral.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
We got celebrity.
I love cooking. That's the extra bonus for tonight. Love cooking.
Wait a minute. I got a question.
Yes.
Didn't you say when we okay? Stephanie, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to bring up the dominoes again, but this time not directly at you, but maybe a little bit directly at you. When we first came on and we were talking about the dominoes, did you say something about getting somebody on the table?
How so?
Elder Clark said that.
I said I need to get in on it. Trust me, I'm not. I have no skills. I just want to get on it for the fun.
Oh, okay.
And I'm gonna trash talk and probably lose, but I'm gonna trash talk losing. Okay.
That's good. That's good.
That mirrors a lot of people that I play. They like the trash talk, but they don't have any skills. I'm not gonna say any more names in this particular episode tonight.
Okay, we're gonna hold you to that.
All right,
Willie, what's the next question?
Did we get everybody?
Yes.
We didn't get you.
Okay, well, let me see. Something little to no one knows about me. When I was younger, you guys may or may not remember this person, but I was a backup dancer for Rerun. Do you guys remember him?
From What's Happening?
From What's Happening. What's happening? He came to my town and he needed some young backup dancers, and I was dancing with them.
That's awesome.
So we have the singer and the dancer with Rerun and Julia Roberts,
Lyle Lubbock,
former husband. Wow, that's pretty dope. I don't think I even knew that. That's awesome. May I give a little to known fact about me?
Let's do it and surprise me.
Is it okay? You want me to surprise you? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When I was 14 years old, and it was the summer between my 8th grade year and my freshman year in high school, I actually went to Detroit, Michigan by myself on a Trailways bus. And I got to Jackson, Mississippi, and I missed my connector to the next place, which I think was Birmingham. But me being the roadmap nerd that I am, when they didn't mention that I was going to be going through Memphis and then to Nashville, I said, "Oh, that's the wrong bus." So I didn't get on the bus at all because I thought that they should have been going the way that I thought they should have been going. But luckily, my oldest sister knew somebody who had family in Jackson. They were able to come to the bus station and pick me up. They took me back to their house. She made the bombest fried chicken I had ever had up to that point with some green beans and mashed potatoes. And they took me to the bus station the next morning, and I was on my way to Detroit for the entire summer of 1985. So that's a fun fact about me.
That's interesting. That you wanted to tell the bus driver they were going the wrong way. That part. Okay, let's move on to our next question. Proudest accomplishment. We all have that one moment that makes us feel like we really done something wonderful. What's your proudest accomplishment and how did it shape who you are? Cookie, unmute.
Okay, there we go. Well, obviously, I have 3 daughters, 2 of which are twins. So, yeah, that was a pretty impressive moment for myself, if I must say so. But professionally, I was chosen as Principal of the Year in 2017, Willie, not every year.
I stand corrected.
Okay, and I got to represent the entire state of Louisiana on the National Board of Secondary School Principals, and I did that from 2020 to 2023. So I did that for 3 years. I represented 9 states, so that means I represented a great deal of people in my profession. So to be chosen by my peers. And I just felt like I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. I didn't feel like I was doing anything exceptional. I just, wanted to do it right and be genuine to my craft. But I'm very proud of that moment because it just said to me, somebody's watching what you're doing and respecting it. I'm no longer a principal. I was a principal for 18 years, and now I'm in the central office. I work as a personnel supervisor, and it was just a touching moment that the people around me were able to see what I was doing and the contribution that I was making to my profession. I entered teaching 30 years ago. I have 30 years as an educator. I was a teacher. I was assistant principal, now personnel supervisor. So I would say being chosen as the Principal of the Year and being on the national board, having that really a global platform for principals across the country was a pretty proud moment for me, professionally.
That's an accomplishment. That's really nice.
Thank you.
Very good. Congrats.
Can I piggyback on that real quick, Patrice?
Yeah, sure.
Something that you said that resonated with me, Cookie, was when you do it because you're supposed to. You feel like you're supposed to.
Right.
That's how you know it's a calling. But then you also said that you didn't do it for like Bernie Mac once said. He said, I'm not doing it for the applause.
Right.
That is what you call integrity, because you're doing the right thing when nobody is watching.
Oh, Willie, I wish I could bring my kids down. When they leave home, ask them, what do I say to them? I said, what begins with I? And they say integrity. And I said, what is integrity? And they said, doing the right thing when nobody's watching.
Mm-hmm.
They think that's so corny, but they'll be okay.
Yeah, and
they'll remember it for life.
They'll get it. They'll get it when it's time for them to get it. All right. Liz.
All right, Liz.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, babe.
Go ahead, Liz.
I guess
proudest accomplishment.
Well, it's hard to say because I've really been blessed with a lot of opportunities that have brought a lot of accomplishment. But I think mostly it would be the advocacy and just being being there for others in a very variety of capacities. But maybe found in my nonprofit, Children Connecting the World, I did that through what I felt was ignorance. People don't understand different cultures and things. And I found, I've always worked with children and been volunteers in schools, that the kids are actually smarter than the adults sometimes. And doing Children Connect the World, where we connected kids through technology into other classrooms across the world, and seeing the reactions and the excitement, and discovering there are more similarities than differences between us. The one main is the language. So I think that right there, and then, seeking justice in a very unjust world, and just being able to, help people with things along those lines as well.
That's nice. Very nice. I love that.
Yeah, and for what Liz does, I mean, we've had conversations to no end about the injustices with athletes and post concussion syndrome, CTE, and all of that. And when she says she's an advocate for it, I mean, that's really putting it mildly. I mean, she will go all in on something like that. So thank you, Liz, for your heart to do that. Okay, up next, Patrice.
Stephanie.
Unjust.
I would say my proudest accomplishment, most recently from a personal level, is I just closed on my home in February. And so that was a huge accomplishment and a huge blessing for my daughters and myself. And then a professional accomplishment was last year. It was put in my spirit to basically put together a workshop that compiled everything that I learned on my journey of seeking employment. And I put on, I believe, it was two workshops that I ended up putting on, where I basically poured into people what I learned during that journey, because I felt like the people that were around me in my circle really weren't aware of how the job market has changed. So I wanted to basically just give or share some free game.
That's great that you're sharing that knowledge. Lots of people don't recognize that whatever that they go through, someone else is just starting or need the help, or just the fact that you're sharing it really helps.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and there,
Congratulations on your house.
yeah,
Yes.
yes, definitely congratulations on the crib.
Thank you.
Um, and free game is so valuable. I mean, there's really not a number, a dollar number that you can put on it. Whether somebody is contemplating on paying you for the free game, which would, I guess, no longer make it free game. But I look at that as how much is a person willing to invest in themselves.
Themselves.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I always go back to what Pastor McGill says, like, once you bless somebody, it's on them what they do with the blessing. My job is done.
Hmm.
Mhm.
That's
Sharing it.
freeing. Somebody out there needs to hear that. Somebody out there needs to hear just that. Once you pass on the blessing, you cannot hold on to whatever it is they may or may not do with it. And as okay, I don't, this is not church. So let me, Patrice, take it,
But
take
it's
it, take it,
relative.
take it from me, Patrice.
Proudest accomplishment, Cynthia.
Oh gosh, I think Tawana said it. First of all, just being a mother is an accomplishment all by itself. I have two amazing grown people, 35 and 31, who still are my world, but they fooled around and made me a grandmama. And I got three boys, and they absolutely have. I ain't slide my kids over, but they over there, and the grandchildren are like right here, right now. They are definitely my whole world, and they keep me youthful. But outside of that, I have been fortunate and blessed enough to in the working world advance in different facets. Like I became a project manager, never had a PMP certification a day in my life, but I functioned in it for 9 years without it. And that is nothing but the Lord himself, because most industries won't even look at you unless you have your PMP. Outside of that, when I look at the church, Um, I work in the audio video department, and I've never taken a class. All that I've accomplished is self-taught, and I saw the need. The need was present. Elder Allison, Dwayne Allison taught me some basic things, and then it was for me to take what we're talking about now. It was up to you what you take it. So I took it, and I had to grow beyond that. So I've been fortunate enough to take things, learn them, but not just learn them, and then give it to the next person so that they can learn too. So I am. Those are the. To me, that's an accomplishment in and of itself, because I've never been to class, never took a class, but I think I'm dangerous enough.
Yeah.
That's initiative and go get itness and anything else like that. I love that.
Yes.
I have a similar story to that, Cynthia, because, thanks in partly to you showing me how or introducing Duck Duck Goose. No,
Ah,
that's
yeah,
not what
you're
it is.
using it. That's
It's not
awesome.
it's not Duck Duck Goose. It's
Duck something. Yeah, but I know what you're talking
Yellow
about.
Duck.
Yeah, yellow duck for Instagram.
Introducing me to Yellow Duck, which actually I had to learn how to maneuver it on
Mhm.
top of everything else that I'm doing in terms of operating a board and adding. So I had that same story, and I appreciate that. One quick comment from social media. My big homie, Tip Major, fellow Raider Nation fan. What's up, man? Yo, beautiful peeps. Obviously, he's talking about y'all and not me. So let's continue on.
Thanks for listening, Tip.
Thank you.
All right. Did we get everybody? Willie, would you like to share your proudest accomplishment? Or was that your accomplishment you just spoke of?
Uh, no, I don't think that was it. But I kind of you're throwing me off, man. You're throwing me off. I told y'all earlier that ain't what she trying to do. She ain't trying to help me. She trying to take over the show.
Not
But
at all.
I'll give my proudest accomplishment. Okay, I actually have three of them, if that's okay. One is being a husband to you. We've had some ups and downs, some Guns and Roses, and all that. And the other thing is being a dad to our collective 5 kids. And then the third thing is just realizing how much I have grown from where I was to where I am, and really understanding that I really am not supposed to be here because all of the stuff that I've done leading up to this point. Um, just being able to recognize that my I have not allowed my lows to be higher than my highs, and that has actually continued to drive me and give me the reason as to why I'm doing what we're doing.
That's good. That's good. And that's something people that's listening need to recognize. You're not, you may not be where you want to be, but you still have room to grow. Still have room to change. You still have room to become exactly what you want. Just keep going. Just keep going. All
Thank you.
right, very good. I will talk about my proudest accomplishment. I when I think Liz said it when she said that she's been blessed with a lot of things, and it's hard to pinpoint just one. And I feel like I have been blessed with a lot of things as far as accomplishments, but I will highlight one. I have been in education for 30 plus years. And when you're doing something that you love to do, that is within you to do, that is a God-given talent, I think you don't look at it as an accomplishment. It's just something that you do. But it's in the doing and doing it well, which makes it an accomplishment. And so I like to say that in teaching for 30 plus years, that I have served in education and I have taught many children where and I not just teach them, because you can't just teach children. You have to be there for the children. Sometimes you have to be mom, sometimes you have to be a counselor, sometimes you have to be all the things that they don't need. And then even that person that gives them a hug. If you just only knew how many children come into school every day and they don't have a snack, they may not have a hug. You might be the only hug that they get. And to be there in their lives for those special moments and for those everyday moments. So I think that's a great accomplishment, that I can pat myself on the back for doing it as long as I have been doing it, and and still excited about it every day.
Let me say this. Um, if Patrice was my teacher, I would get in trouble every single day just to stay after school with her.
That's hilarious.
I,
That's
I, I
hilarious.
promise I would be the ringleader, and I would have some people with me because I'm a bit of a team builder. So I'm gonna bring some folks with me, but only I can have the majority of the attention. Okay.
All right,
Um.
Willie, for the next question. Mhm.
All
What do
right.
you got?
So the next question that we have up, time travel conversation. If you could step into a time machine, Stephanie, and talk to your younger self,
Mhm.
what advice or words of wisdom would you share with her?
So I would speak to myself when I was in my early 20s, and I essentially would tell the younger Stephanie, younger Lil Mo, that's my nickname, is that you are enough. A lot of times I was put into situations where I would shrink down my knowledge or my skill set just to fit in, and I would tell myself that you are enough. Like keep your head up, keep your head on a swivel, believe in your instinct, and just keep going, and you will basically be where you are now. So I would really tell my younger self that, just you are enough, you're good, you got it. Like don't shrink back, don't hold back, don't try to like fit in, like make the room adjust to your energy.
Excellent. And that reminds me of a game. And remember it was a little board, like a little wooden board, and you had the round pegs, and then you had the square pegs, and then you had the corresponding holes on the board. And it's like too many people try to put the round peg in the round hole. Well, guess what? It's all right if you are a round hole or if you're a round peg and somebody tries to put you in a square peg or a square hole, because what that means is you ain't about to put me in a box. You're not about to put me in a particular area just because you think I belong there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. All right. Um, Round the room. Liz, you're up next. Same question. That younger self and the current Liz. What would the current Liz tell the younger Liz?
Keep going. Don't take no for an answer. If you're passionate about something and people tell you they may laugh when you're younger, I remember telling people in class I want to be a race car driver. And one of my friends wrote on Facebook just a few years and said, if ever I knew somebody would do it, it'd be you. But yeah, don't take no for an answer. Too many people will tell you, oh, you can't do this, so you can't do that. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. Laugh in their face and just keep moving. That's definitely, well, maybe not laughing in an adult's face. That's kind of disrespectful. But yeah, just pursue it and don't let anybody derail you. Just keep doing it and be true to yourself. Always be true to yourself. Put yourself first, because too many of us that give in advocacy and the areas that we do, it's very easy to lose sight of yourself and your own needs by putting others before you. And when I used to coach new moms, when I was nannying, I would always tell them, you need to take time for you, because if you don't, how can you give to anyone else? So always make sure you're taking care of your health and your mental health, especially because it will bring you down. But stay true to you and don't take no for an answer, basically.
That's good. Don't take no for an answer and put yourself first.
Yeah,
Lots of
because
people need to hear that.
selfless is not selfish. And if somebody tells you no, if they tell you no once, make them tell you no again. If they tell you no again, make them tell you no again. If they
Until you
tell you
say
no a
yes.
third time, you go around the back of the house and you climb into the window and say, "Yo, I'm here."
Absolutely. 100% agreed. I won't deny that I've probably done it before too.
Yeah, this is not. We're not gonna call you to the carpet about your criminal. No, I'm just joking.
I forgot to help.
Determination.
You're right. All right, Cookie. What would the younger Cookie want to hear, or I shouldn't say want to hear, but what would the present Cookie tell the younger Cookie? And it would be so funny if you would tell the younger Cookie to not to let the cookie crumble. But go ahead.
That is. Don't let the cookie crumble. Don't let them see you sweat, because you definitely will be sweating. But I tell my girl stuff that I would want someone to have told me when I was their age. And one thing is rejection is sometimes redirection. Even socially, as they begin with relationships with boys and just period, just friends. Girls can be horrible. So sometimes rejection is redirection. That's even in life. That's in your career. That's in anything. And if you don't want to do something, don't feel the pressure of what others put up on you. And one thing that I would definitely tell the younger Cookie is stand up for yourself. If it's something you really and truly believe in, don't be afraid to stand up for what you believe. So, and it may be unpopular, it may be unpopular opinion for some people, but in this current climate, I heard Liz mention advocate for yourself, because if you don't, I promise you nobody else will.
That's true.
So that's my TED talk.
And
Rejection is a new direction.
and in the words of the great lyricist himself, Too Short, aka Todd Shaw, he said that when you do it first, you get it worst. So there's nothing wrong with being first. Just make sure you're being the first in the right thing.
Right.
All right, Cynthia, come on down. You're the next contestant. Wait a minute, I'm not Bob.
Contestant on Prices
Oh,
Right.
yeah, okay.
I would tell, maybe a couple of years ago, I preached a sermon called Facing Your Giants.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would tell my between 20 and 30-year-old self is do it afraid. And one of the illustrations I gave, I talked about when I was young. And I say young, meaning 10, 12. I used to scale between two buildings. And we used to scale between two buildings to the 6th floor. I had no fear back then. And I talked about somewhere along the line, fear started settling in. I allowed fear to get in my heart to keep me from doing things that I knew that the Lord was calling me to do. So if I could go back and tell that version of me, I would go back and tell myself, remember your younger years and do it afraid. Don't be afraid to step out when you know that it's your time to step out. Definitely would tell myself that. I still tell myself that sometimes now, do it afraid.
Yeah.
How many things do we avoid doing because we're afraid?
Absolutely.
I like that.
And it goes
Just
back to
do
what
it.
I think Tawana mentioned about somebody said about rejection. That's the key thing we think about. Oh, they're going to say no, but I love now. One of the things I used to tell Mary Kay, one of the things she used to always say is go for the yes, not the no. Because for every no, there's a yes. So now the way I live and govern my life, I'm going for the yes. I'm going for the yes at all times. And now I do things afraid.
Yeah, and absolutely, it's kind of like in sports. You have to ride the horse that got you to the dance, and when you get to the dance, you don't just automatically discard the horse.
Exactly.
So do what has worked and has continued to work. Okay, Patrice Ep.5 dash co-host. What would the now Patrice tell the former Patrice or the younger Patrice? What kind of conversation would that have, and what would it sound like, and what would you say to her?
the younger Patrice, the now Patrice would tell the younger Patrice to not to dim your light. Sometimes you can walk in a room and your light intimidates others. And people tend to, and I know I did, tend to dim my light so they could shine because they would seem uncomfortable with your light or uncomfortable with my light.
Right.
And I would tell my younger self, don't dim your light. Because God gave me the light that I do have. And wherever I'm supposed to shine, that's where I'm supposed to shine. Don't dim your light.
That's good.
The lamp on the hill. Isn't that scriptural? Come on, elder. Isn't that scriptural? And here's the thing too about that, about the light. Um, it's not, and somebody needs to hear this. It ain't your fault, and I'm talking directly to the camera. I'm talking to everybody on screen and to the camera. It ain't your fault that your bright light makes somebody else feel uncomfortable. It's not your fault. That is on them. And then, okay, again, this is not church. Let me move on.
It's not a you problem, it's a them problem.
Right.
Exactly. All right, we got one more, and then we're gonna take a break, and then we can come back on the other side and finish up with two more after that. Then you can get to plug yourselves, and then we're gonna bounce. All right, so bucket list item, Patrice. What's one I'm a little afraid of this answer. What's one thing on your bucket list that's totally unexpected? It could be anything from a bold career move to a wild adventure.
Okay, here's my wild adventure. I want to conquer line dancing. That's on my bucket list. My siblings line dance. My sisters joined a I think it's a community group where they go 3 times a week. And I was invited. It was a 2-hour class. Okay. And let's just say my feet were going the same direction. So I want to conquer line dancing. That's on my bucket list. I am going to do it. I'm going to look good. I'm going to clap the fan and everything. So that's on my bucket list.
Can somebody tell me what clap the fan means?
It's on a dance. Look, there we go.
Oh, that's what it is.
Where those fans at?
I thought that was. What you say, Stephanie?
That wasn't it.
Oh well.
It's
I
not
never
a-
Take it down.
I am a content creator and a podcast host and a team builder. I didn't say nothing about being a dancer.
Right.
Okay. Cynthia, bucket list item. What you got?
I want to go to Australia. They have, I can't remember the name of the bridge, but this bridge that you climb and walk all the way over. That is on my bucket list.
I like it. That's traveling, and
Yes.
there's nothing like traveling. As a matter of fact, a course that I'm taking right now, the ladies discuss just that very thing. Show people that you're traveling, because believe it or not, those that are watching you aren't always watching you to hate on you. They're living their life vicariously through you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's dope in itself. All right, Cookie, bucket list item. What's on that bucket list?
Fun fact about me, I've lived in Monroe, Louisiana my entire life. So I'm not sure if that's going to happen now at 51, but I would love to experience life in a new city, preferably San Francisco. So my bucket list, I would love to retire to San Francisco, Sausalito, go across the Golden Gate. And I hope my husband can hear me saying all of this, but at least spend a year there when we retire. I've always been in love with the Bay Area. More importantly, San Francisco. And I've visited a lot of places, but that's probably just to kind of live there for a few years. I hope you can hear that, Abram.
Yeah.
Hint, hint.
Yes, definitely. And as one who grew up the first part of his life in the Bay Area and has gone back a few times and has taken the family out there, the Bay Area, to me, and I might be a little biased, is one of the most beautiful areas on the planet.
Beautiful. We visited a lot of places, but that place is really pretty to me. It's calm.
Yeah. Now, and you said the right thing when you said San Francisco because Oakland,
Oakland.
no, Oakland,
My best friends is from Oakland.
Oakland ain't it. That ain't it. Oakland's not it. So yeah, that's pretty cool in itself. All right.
Bucket list.
Bucket list. That's a good bucket list. Bucket list. Stephanie.
One of my bucket list items is to travel to Singapore to stay in the Marina Bay Sands Hotel. I love to travel also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Snapchat.
I'm gonna have to look that up. Marina Bay Sands.
It's
Yeah,
nice.
is that anywhere near DeSoto?
Nowhere, not Texas.
What about next? Liz, what's on your bucket list that you want to kick off of it?
Well, I think visiting more countries, not to, the usual vacations. I'm more about actually being immersed in the culture. So definitely more of that. Maybe get the kids to just do as they're told. That would be a huge accomplishment. That would
Mm-hmm.
be definitely something else. But yeah, definitely involved in more cultural education and
All right. Who do we have left? Patrice?
I think that's everybody.
That is everybody? Okay. All right. So we are going to take a quick break. We are going to mute our mics and turn off our cams because mute myself did right then. We have to pay the bills. So you guys hold on to your seats. And we're going to come back here in just a few moments. We'll be right back.
Ladies, life can get overwhelming, but you don't have to navigate it alone. At Don't Jump Life Coaching Solutions, we specialize in helping women like you to regain clarity, confidence, and control. I'm Patrice Ep.5, a certified life coach, here to walk alongside you through life's toughest moments. Whether it's relationships, mental health, or building a stronger mindset, together we'll create a plan tailored just for you to step into your best self. Take the first step today. Visit Don't Jump Life Coaching Solutions by calling for your free consultation at 469-358-5241. You're strong, capable, and deserving of the life you dream of. Let's make it happen together. Visit Don't Jump Life Coaching Solutions by calling for your free consultation at 469-358-5241. Whether it's relationships, mental health, or building a stronger mindset, visit Don't Jump Life Coaching Solutions by calling for your free consultation at 469-358-5241. Don't Jump Life Coaching Solutions.
You need to write this date down. And I'm talking Thursday, April 24th at 7 p.m. Committed to memory, because that's the day that Jazz Cliff Radio teams up with BGC Sports Network and BGC Sports Network 2 to bring you the overhyped, unofficial, slightly censored Draft Talk live from the Turkey Den. I'm talking 1201 Oakland Boulevard, Suite 1111, Fort Worth, Turkey Den. Come on out and join us for an evening of Draft Talk that's lit, as well as a delicious menu of Southern sophisticated specials and a great atmosphere. Did I say Thursday, April 24th at 7 p.m.? Are you sure I said Thursday, April 24th at 7 p.m.? Because I can say it one more time, Thursday, April 24th at 7 p.m. Oh, we got it? Okay, wanted to make sure that you know it's the overhyped, unofficial, slightly censored Draft Talk live at the Turkey Den Thursday, April 24th at 7 p.m. I had to get it in one more again. It's gonna be epic. Seeing you there.
For that, and we are going to be in the building, of course, on April 24th, whatever date that was. That's the NFL draft, the BGC Sports Network. We'll be in the building, and we're going to have a lot of fun. And of course, Don't Jump Life Coaching Solutions. As the scroll continues to go across the screen, we appreciate you guys patronizing all of the establishments aforementioned there during the break. All right. We're going to move on. We're going to get to these last couple questions before we bounce. So, Patrice, if you don't mind, you can lead the way with the next question.
It is March, and March is Women's History Month. And for Women's History Month, Well, let's talk about some modern trailblazers out there that resonate with you. Tell us someone that you see in today, or it could be in the past, that you admire and why. Let's start with Cookie.
Someone that I admired is my sister. Um, I am the youngest of 10. She's not. She's at the top of the 10. But unfortunately, we lost my mom when I was 15 and my dad when I was 2. So she was left to be the matriarch, and she still is. She's resilient. She's a jack of all trades. She could get out and mow the yard, but then she can come back in and get on her cocktail gown. She's a Christian. She's gonna pray with you. She's gonna pray for you. And she's the wind beneath my wings. She is one of those people who's just gonna sit back and let everybody else just kind of take it in. She drove me around today, so she drove. That's just a quick joke. She knows I hate to drive, but she's just that Renaissance woman. And if I could be a fifth of what she is, then I've done pretty well in my life. But the most important, that she just always leaves us with just, if you can have someone feeling better than they did before, like she always knows exactly what to say. And she'll tell you the truth, which sometimes the truth hurts, but she really is a phenomenal woman. So my sister, Penny White, if you're listening, you are that person.
Shout out to Penny.
Shout out to Penny. And I vaguely remember some of that story, Cookie. And I was telling Patrice, I think it was either yesterday or the day before, something regarding pieces of that story. And to see where you have come from that tragedy and turned it into triumph is nothing short of sensational.
I could have landed in a lot of places, losing your mama, right before your 14th birthday. So, really just being an orphan. And my path could have gone a whole different way. But her faith in me and her faith in God, allowed me to be here right now. And I strive to be the mother and wife that she is, because I see her Christian. I just see her talking that talk, being that person.
Mm-hmm.
That's
All
beautiful.
right, Patrice.
That's beautiful. All right, Stephanie, who do you have?
I would say a woman right now that is inspirational to me, and not only her, but other women that I know that have basically kind of not put into the position, but basically assumed the role, is right now my mother, and then my good girlfriend Anastasia. I watched Anastasia for a number of years be the primary caretaker for her father, and then right now my mother has basically kind of stepped into that role for her sister. And I just feel like it takes a different level of compassion, patience, and understanding when you're stepping into those roles to be somebody's caretaker. So that's who right now I admire and aspire to. If that ever happens to me, I only hope that I could do half of what they are in the process of doing and have done.
Leading by example, and you can see that.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, and you can see it with your girls as well. So shout out to all those ladies that you mentioned, or both of those ladies that you mentioned. All right, Patrice.
All right, Cynthia.
Today's
Same question.
It's definitely going to be my mom. And why my mother, when I was young, I grew up a little colorful. My mother she dealt with alcoholism, and she had to fight her way through that. When you're young, all you know is you don't want your mother to become an alcoholic. You don't want her drinking. And so that was always a prayer for me. But I realized as we went through the journey that it was her journey to walk through. And so one day she made a decision. I had just recently moved to Texas, and she made a decision that, okay, this is it. I'm done drinking. Don't want it anymore. She went to rehab. She went to rehab sober. They wouldn't take her.
Mm.
For the life of me, I don't understand how that works. But talk about determination, tired, perseverance, strength, courage. So she went out. She got drunk. She went back to the people. She said, will you take me now? They said, absolutely, we will. They wanted to put her in just detox. She said, no, you don't understand. I'm not going back. I need long-term care. So she went through a long-term care program. And when she came out, thank God, God is always in details. He's so in the details. I came to Texas on a round trip ticket and didn't have intentions. Came to visit my cousin who had been here. She had moved here relocated here from the post office. Was here for she was here for a year. Came down. I was supposed to be starting a new job in the city in New York. And she's like, why don't you stay? I'm like, girl, I can't stay here. This is slow, not for me. So I need pace. Y'all don't have no bus system, no nothing. But God is in the details. So decided I was going to stay. When my mother finished rehab, it was like, okay, now, Mom, what are you going to do? And now I hadn't lived with my mom for years. But it was the Holy Spirit was like, bring her to Texas. So now it's like, okay, well, Mom, what are you going to do? You out? What are you going to do? She's like, I don't know. I said, well, I just relocated here. You relocate here. Come on down. Stay with me and my cousin. Stay with me and Grace. And she moved here and never, ever, ever picked up a drink, never desired to pick up a drink, never thought about picking up a drink. And I told my children all the time, and if she was here, she would be all right with me sharing this because she recognized that it was a God thing. But I would say she is my shero. And I learned the older I get, the more attributes of her rises up in me. And I love it because I saw strength in this woman. I tell my children all the time, y'all got the best of her. They got the best of that. They never knew that part of her. She shared it with them, but they never got to see that. So for me to watch her as a grandmother, I felt like God was breathing on her a redo because she felt like she let us down. And I told everybody has a journey, and there's power in forgiveness. There was really for me nothing for me to forgive. It was just that was her journey. Didn't like it because I felt like I missed some aspects of her. But man, oh man, she passed away in 2014. And you talking about missing somebody? I missed that lady like miss her dearly. But that was my shero and still is my shero today. So she is that person and she's that girl for me because it took courage to do what she did. And then it took that one that they talk about, in the 12-step process, the rock bottom. And I think she just got tired of the sick and tired. But man, when she made the decision, she made it and she walked through it. So she's the one for me.
That is an amazing testimony. And again, these are the stories that I shouldn't say story. Saying the word story seems like it makes such light of it, but I hope you guys are hearing my heart when I say that. Sharing these testimonials is what somebody needs to hear, whether they're watching live with us now or whether it comes via the podcast that's going to be coming out sometime tonight or whatever the case may be. But thank you for sharing that. And I remember, and I can't believe it's been 11 years since your mom has passed.
It's actually been 10 years. My mother passed away on my son's 25th birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 25th. Mm-hmm. It was his 25th birthday. And, and I told my best friend, Deborah, I said, my mother's going to leave on my son's birthday. She kept going, don't say that like I'm telling you what I feel in my spirit. So when it happened, it was like, oh, yep, I knew it. I said, This is her way of making sure we don't soak in this thing. And that was his best friend. So now you talk about, one of the things we do, we don't act like there's an elephant in the room because sometimes when you deal with loss, you sweep that part of it under your lot, under the rug like it never happened. We don't do that. So when his birthday comes around, we talk about her all the same. And I can tell when he feels it some type of way because he has her fleece, which is gray and black. So when I see him with it on, I'm like, "Oh, you pulling in the grandma today?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Come on, let's crack a joke. Give me a joke that she would say." So we'll sit around, we'll laugh, share something about intimate about her, or he'll share something that I still don't know that they share because they were bosom buddies and stuff like that. But I would encourage anybody, loss is always difficult. And one thing what helped me through my journey is Pastor preached the message, to die is gain for the believer. And so for me, and because I knew that my mother was saved, it made it even more easy for me to walk through the journey of losing her, and all of that portion. But man, I love the fact that, like I said, my children got the better her years, and to see her light up and to be able to be present with them, sober, clothed in her right mind, back to the version of that I knew as a little girl, who's the cooker, the present one, the life giver, the encourager. To see her give that to my children was everything for me.
That's a blessing.
Yes, very much so. Steph, no. Liz?
Well, I think everybody's, well, most of us are blessed with moms that have been able to lay a strong foundation for their daughters. But also, there's so many women out there that are making such a difference that I admire. But there are people like in everyday life that they're not out there really celebrating themselves, and you don't hear about them. But the one I will say is it's Christy Martin. Christy Salters, the coal miner's daughter, world champion boxer. First woman ever signed by Don King. She's fought on Tyson's ticket. And she's also inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame. If anybody knows Chrissy's story, her ex-husband and trainer, he tried to murder her. He stabbed her, he shot her, left her for dead. But that's a survivor. She is a true fighter. And, I'm proud to know Christy and advocate for Christy's champs. And so, yeah, I mean, you got to look at that's a real fighter. And she's still out there pounding today and advocating for domestic violence for the victims. So, yep.
That's great.
Again, we sometimes want to shy away from a particular subject, and that's definitely one of them. And that's the realest definition of survivor. Patrice?
Well, modern trailblazer. I want to, like everyone said, it's Mother's Day. You want to talk about your mother. You want to talk about, there's lots of women that you come in contact with, and the phrase of give people flowers while they're alive. I take a petal from each woman I meet because when you look at different women and you see something you admire from them, you want to also emulate that. And so I would say modern trailblazers, like Liz alluded, are women who are not celebrated, women who are going about their everyday lives. The woman you see in Target that has, I want to say a boatload of kids with them. I admire her tenacity to keep going, for the decision to, okay, I have something to do and I'm taking them all with me. I admire that. I admire the woman that's walking alone because she has decided to walk alone. There's so many different instances and where people show courage, people show their strength, and these women are doing it because they have made a decision to do it. And for the woman who decides to, they're not in a great relationship and they have to decide to keep moving forward. Don't let that be the definition of who they are. I want to shout out that woman who says, this is not going to define me. I have the right to define my own future. So those women who are nameless, I want to shout those women out for working through everyday life and understanding that they have to put one foot in front of the other to keep moving forward. So I salute those women.
All right. We got about 15 minutes left to go in the show, so we're gonna go ahead and move to the last question before the plug yourself, and then I'm gonna come back and offer some words of encouragement for you ladies and for anybody out there that's watching. So here's a question that I always love to ask. We've been doing this is our fourth year doing this, and I love this question. So here we go. Every woman has faced setbacks or challenges that has forced her to rise again. What's a major life challenge, Cookie, that you've had to shake back from, and what did it teach you?
Well, I've mentioned the loss of my mother at 15. I mean, that's a pivotal age for a young girl going through, adolescence. And I made some not so good decisions that I have to live with that. But I also, it does teach me resilience. But it just taught me to cherish life more, because my mom was 54 years old when she passed away, and I'm entering 52. So it allowed me to realize that life is a gift and how important it is to just celebrate the small stuff. And I think Cynthia mentioned that God's in the details. God makes no mistakes. Everything, I had to learn that, because I fell out of love with God. I cursed God when he took my mom. I'm like, why? And I struggled with that. Not just when I was 15, but God had to show me, that how he works. And again, I said earlier, rejection is redirection. So I thought, what did I do I felt like God had just turned his back on me. And I had to learn that as a young adult, and just to understand, the process of life and how to take it better. That's not to be taken for granted. But another thing is just my job. Personally, that was a setback. Professionally, I have been the only woman of color in the room, and sometimes I did mute myself. I did, withhold that I knew much more than and that just was a process. But I'm here. I'm standing up for myself now. I'm all of 5'2", but I had to learn that the setback just taught me that it's not always about me. God he set he put this path in front of me. He had, I had to make some pretty big girl decisions at an early age, but I just think it was all to get me where I am here. Married 25 years with 3 gorgeous kids. We're all healthy and happy. And I just think, he did it to show me better.
And you are here sharing your shake back story. It was in the cards all the way back to 1987. And who would have thought that would have wound you up where you are at this very moment? All right, Stephanie. Every woman has had that moment where you've had to shake back from. What was yours, and what did you learn from it?
I wouldn't necessarily call it a challenge. I would more or less call it a blessing, because it's continually been a gift that's continued to give to me. I was a single parent. I never, wanted to come off as like a charity case or anything like that. I took the role very seriously and still do to this day. And so during that time of, just raising my daughter, she's 23 now, it was several, challenges and things that you go through with that. And we just always took the higher road. We just always had the mentality of, I used to tell her, I used to say to Sierra, what are we? That's my daughter's name. And she would always say back, lady soldiers, lady soldiers. And so because of that, I never looked at that as like a challenge. It was more like a blessing. But from that, what I have learned is strategy and to be intentional. So any move that I make right now, there's a strategy behind it, and there's intent behind it. And so that's basically just over time what I have come to learn and understand, as a part of being a parent.
Tenacity, resilience, resourcefulness, all those things wrapped up into one.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Cynthia Clark, Shake Back Story. What is it and what did you learn from it? Or what did it teach? What did it teach you?
Shake back story, life after divorce and single parenting. What I learned is that I can handle it. You know, you I lived in this bubble of the Huxtables. In my head, I'm gonna have the Huxtable family. We're gonna do the Huxtable stuff. And it was Huxtable for a minute until it wasn't. And then life happened and I started to have the life. And so now what I learned though is that I can handle it. That God had already equipped me with all the tools I needed to be a single mother. He prepared me, even though I felt like I wasn't prepared. And then, like I said, I always go back to He's in the details. You know, I said that growing up, my life was a little colorful. You know, my mother being an alcoholic, and you know, there was a season in our life that we were kind of in the house by ourselves, me and my brothers growing up. And you know, full transparency, we stole some time to eat, but God provided. It wasn't right, but we did it. Okay, but so I learned how to cook at an early age. I learned how to survive at an early age. I had to learn how to fend for myself at an early age. I didn't know that I was going to have to know how to do all of those tools now with two kids, but I had brothers. So some ways, my younger brothers, I took care of them. So it prepared me for that journey. But then I also learned that there is a village. And it's okay to call on your village when you recognize you have a village. And I recognized later on when the Allisons and myself became friends and Deborah and I became best friends, I recognized, okay, I have a village. So sometimes where my daughter and my son were playing ball and I couldn't be two places at the same time, I called the village and I said, hey, I need you to go to David's game. I'm at Brooke's game. And when she's finished, I'm going to run over to his game. And so I learned how to navigate. And if I couldn't be someplace, I would straight up tell them. And one thing about me, I would never promise anything to my children that I did not deliver. So if they asked me for something, I would tell them, if I could do it, I'd tell them, okay, I'll be there. I'm going to do that. But if I couldn't, I was telling them, I'll let you know. I'm going to think about it. But if I said yes, they knew it was in the bag. My mother's they didn't have to look for me. They didn't have to wonder if I was going to make it happen. I made it happen. So for me, I learned about me that I can handle it.
Shout out to you for that. And there's a message there. And the message is basically this: whether you're a single mom or whether you're a single dad, don't let yourself be led to feel guilty because you can't be everywhere at the same time. You're not omniscient, you're not omnipresent, you're not any of those things. You're a human. And do not allow, and I don't know who needs to hear this, I just feel it in my spirit that somebody needs to hear this. Do not allow yourself to be guilted into any other feeling that is supposed to be other than any sort of hurt or whatever the case may be. Because if that's the case, yeah, it may be good for you in the long run, but you're not going to see that while you're in it. So conversations like this is designed to equip you in a way in which you don't allow yourself to be guilted. Good stuff there, Cynthia. Appreciate that.
And I say sometimes the struggle is real because sometimes the struggle was so real that we was in the house in the dark, but I made it seem like we were camping. We camping. Hey, we going to a camp. I didn't, so for them, I made it fun. I had to make it fun. We were in crisis, but I couldn't let crisis be on my face.
Right.
And if it showed on me, then they worrying. So we made it, okay, let's like some camp. We're gonna eat in the living room, let's camp out.
Resilient.
stories, you know. So I had to make it fun and relevant, but in the
And
room,
creative.
Thinking quick on your feet.
absolutely. Now I may crumble in the bathroom, but when I get out that bathroom, hey, what we doing? What we doing? Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah. I can be touched with that infirmary. I know what that's like. All right, Liz, shake back story.
Oh, there's a bunch.
We just need one.
Overcoming loss, grief, losing people close to you in your life that can have an effect, but it takes a little bit of time, and what it doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Not everything's a loss, and you grow from it. Each day and keep going.
Truer words were never spoke. Truer words were never spoke. Patrice,
Right.
come on and round us home, sweetheart.
Shake back story. There, like you said, there's quite a few shake back stories, but one I'll share is that I was in a controlling marriage for close to 20 years. And in this marriage, I was, like we spoke about earlier, dimming my own light. And I think with that, allowing myself to be dimmed and allowing someone else to, take control was not good for me as far as shake back. So moving forward, after a 20-year marriage came a divorce, but not a divorce that I was trying to get. He wanted to divorce me. More like it was the threat. If you don't do this, I'm going to divorce you. And I heard it all the time. And finally, I said, I'm going to give you what you're asking for. And when God gave me the strength. I can't say because it wasn't me. God gave me the strength to not to be afraid of change. And because to me, that would be change. I had 3 little children, 3 little babies, and this was something that I did not want them to see, be a part of, and for them to be able to be. I had 2 girls and a boy, and I wanted my girls to be strong women. And so I decided to shake back from the control, shake back from the threats, shake back from the unknown. And like I said, gave him what he asked for. But as in all things, it wasn't really what he wanted. But God gave me the strength to move forward in my life. And I walked away with just whatever could fit in my little truck. I left my home. I had a 2-story home, a huge backyard, and all the things. You know how we always shoot for the things. I had all the things, but I wasn't happy. And so God allowed me the strength to walk away from the things. And in walking away from the things, I walked closer with God. And in that walk, I could see myself and I could see what I was shaking back from. And that was hard moving forward because I was going to be doing it on my own with my kids and being unafraid. And God shook me back from that. And in order to move forward and to take care of my children and take care of myself without living in shame and without living afraid.
Perfectly said by all of you guys. And before I actually come back with the word of encouragement, I just want to give you guys this because it's important to understand. Applaud ourselves and yourselves. I'm going to do it again because Stephanie didn't clap.
And clap for everybody. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, so we appreciate that. Here's your opportunity to shamelessly plug yourself. I call it the shameless plug portion of the show where you divulge any side hustles, business ventures, events, whatever you have going on in your life. So we're going to start with the matriarch of this home.
That would be me.
That would be you.
I am, yes, I am Patrice Epting. I am a teacher. I am a life coach. You can find me on social media at don'tjump.net. Did I get it wrong?
No, you got it right. But that's your website, your
That'll get-
Instagram,
Mhm.
your
You can find me
your
on all social media platforms through that don'tjump.net.
Okay, that works. Okay. Cynthia Clark.
Oh, well, let's see. In terms of who I am just who I am. I don't necessarily have anything that I'm endeavoring in. Obviously, I do a little bit of dipping and dabbing in video editing and graphics arts, but I do it right now for fun. I starting to venture off into it, making it a business thing, but haven't really full force put my feet to the plow. It is something I want to do. One thing that I am endeavoring to do is get into real estate, and so that is hopefully this year I'll circle back to that. Started last year taking some of the classes for that, and hopefully this year I'll finish it up and put my pinky toe in that endeavor as well.
Yeah, and that visual, what'd you say? The visual,
Graphics, right?
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, as life coaches, we can help you to push yourself a little higher and deeper with that. So keep that in mind as you continue to allow God to pour into you in terms of what direction He wants you to go. Stephanie.
So, as I stated earlier when we were discussing our proudest accomplishments, that I started a workshop last year. The name of that workshop is Upskill You. And our slogan is, while waiting on God's timing, make sure you upskill you. So currently I'm looking to continue to share the presentation. So I will be happy to present anywhere within the Metroplex, especially in today's climate with the number of people who are being impacted, under the new presidential candidacy. So if you're looking to work on personal branding, marketing yourself, LinkedIn optimization, and resume assistance, feel free to reach out to me. You can find me on LinkedIn as Stephanie Mosley, or I can give you guys my email address and you can share that, and feel free to reach out to me if you need some assistance.
Perfect. And we need to have that. We need to get you some scripts read so you can so we can put that
Advertise.
on. Yeah, so we can advertise for you.
Oh, period. Thank you.
Yeah, we everything is in the house. So we need to work on getting that done for you. And in terms of the script, you can write it or we can write it, but we can talk about that at another point.
Okay.
All right. Cookie.
Well, I am right now. I'm in my second year as personnel supervisor for Ouachita Parish Schools, which I kind of made myself unofficial mentor to aspiring principals. But I really would like to work with Stephanie because we have this thing like the second time, second chance educator, and those are some of our alternative certified teachers who had another occupation and they want to come into teaching and just working. I know Stephanie works on the science part of it with the resumes and the your brand, but I like to work with them on interviewing skills and just learning more about the pedagogy itself. So I would love to get some information from Stephanie. And I didn't hear you, Patrice.
I didn't say anything. I'm just agreeing with you. This sounds great.
I would love to just bring those two together. But
Absolutely.
I know I would like to share and get some stuff from you. And I know you're working in the Metroplex, but we always have social media.
Right.
Just working with our young people. We have a lot of paraprofessionals who want to get into teaching, just teaching them how to, with the interviews, with just, how to present yourself, and also working with teachers who want to be administrators. But if you reach me on all social media platforms, it's just at Tawana, and that's everything, and Tawana Calhoun on Facebook.
Yeah, and this is what it's all about, is connecting worlds together.
Exactly.
And the distances have been shrunk because of technology. And again, this is technology for good. All right, Liz, I know you got a boatload of stuff going on, so come on with it.
Affirm you when you're saying about technology and the world. I mean, we've been the organization, we've been down, because of COVID, but we're implementing some things right now to get back into the schools. We're all approved volunteers, so we're going to be reaching out and getting back into the schools hopefully pretty soon. We do have a sports committee as well now, because sports obviously is what we know is worldwide, and we have 2 Super Bowl champions serving that, Derek Martin and Jeff Reed. So there's a lot of exciting things, coming up in the future, but I don't want to jinx too much. And of course, I continue to do my investigations, and when I get a hunch about something, I will dig to Australia to find the truth. And so a lot of work lately, but oh boy, do I have a lot of truths. But that's pretty much it for now.
All right. And as for me, I mean, nobody wants to hear about me, but I just want to tell you guys a couple of things. Number one, I know that, or let me say it this way, I presume that there may have been some uncomfortability with doing this, being interviewed like this in a space like this. My goal is to always make everyone feel as comfortable as possible, but I'm not going to lie. There's a hint of uncomfortability that I want people to dive into or own, because I remember standing on a beach at Half Moon Bay in California, and I was remembering when I first became afraid of water and swimming, because I thought I was going to drown because I was doing something I ain't had no business doing. But standing on that beach some, 40 years later after that point, God spoke to me and he said to me this. He said, learn how to become comfortable with the uncomfortable, because you're going to have to fight. You're going to have to thrive in the unfamiliar. And all of you guys have done that, and you have been outspoken. You have been candid. You have been transparent. And I love that, because as soon as we realize that whatever we're doing is no longer about us, that's when we confirm that we have a tremendous purpose in life. So again, I want to thank you ladies for taking the time to do this, and it's time to go. So for Patrice, for Cynthia, for Tawana, or Cookie, or Liz, or Stephanie, you're really up here doing your station. I love you, somebody. I love each other. I'm going to be all right. Well, I'll be feeling in the civilization. So you sit in the basement, takes a scientific nation to fail. Blind communities, they read it in braille. Politicians with the skin and scales, pigtails, sending soldiers and ship to sail in sunken city, divers and trails. Down below, search for survivors, there's no people for several miles.